Wireframe using Fireworks. So of course you have to open Fireworks. Just be advised that this version is CS5, the version at Clarksburg is CS6. The differences are very slight, so it shouldn't be a major factor. So we're going to create a new Fireworks document. I'm thinking we should set our width to 1,000 and height to 1,200. This is basically just to kind of give us a total real estate area available for the page on which we're going to place content. I'm setting the background to transparent. This is not a major issue right now, but I think it's just going to make more sense down the road. We could set it to white. It's not a big deal, I guess, at this point, but I'm going to set mine to transparent. Resolution 72 pixels per inch is perfect, so that's fine. Click OK, and you'll see that it's very large. You can zoom out. If you hold down Control on the keyboard and hit minus at the same time, you can zoom out or zoom in hitting Control plus. So Control minus zooms out, Control plus zooms in. There's another way to do this. If you go to View, you can zoom in and out as well. I'm going to zoom out so I can see the whole page. And before we get started, there's a couple tools that I think will be very helpful. If you go under View, Rulers, make sure that is checked. That's giving you an idea of the height. You can see that it starts at 0, goes down to 1,200 for height, starts at 0, goes to 1,000 for width. Again, this is not a major thing that's going to be helpful right now, but it might be down the road, so I think it's good to turn that on. Also, I'm going to turn on the grid to show grid, and mine is set to snap to grid. I'm also going to leave that snap to grid on as well. So I'm going to show grid and then snap to grid. So the grid is basically this light blue lines. This may be a little bit annoying right now, but it's going to help line things. And I'm going to turn that off when we're finished. On the right hand side, you'll see that by default it's making layers. If it's set to pages, you can just go over and click the layers tab. That's going to be helpful to us. We have two boxes, one to view and then one to lock a layer. So we're going to be using that too, just to kind of only work with things, content objects that we want to, and not work with them when we don't want to. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to draw content container boxes to make the layout structure, and that's all we're focused with right now, is layout and where things are located. So I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to choose the rectangle tool, which is under vector. Choose the rectangle tool, and immediately what comes up in the properties inspector is you have this fill color, which I'm going to leave mine set to all C's for hexadecimal color. That's basically this color right here, right above white. If you want to get out of that, you can click escape, hit escape, or you can just click off of it. I'm hitting escape to get out of that. Also, this is the stroke color. This is the outer edge of that box. I'm going to leave that set to nothing right now. So I'm not going to worry about that, but we may want to go back and set that to a color. So I'm drawing a box that is basically going to consume most of my top area. I'm going down 4 boxes. Whoops, sorry about that. So I kind of messed that up. I can hit Control Z to undo. So I still have the box selected. I'm going to go down 4 squares, and I'm going to leave 2 squares on right and left of this box, because I'm trying to demonstrate this is going to be aligned to the center. It's going to be center aligned, and this is going to serve as my header area. So I'm going to click on text, and text, you can choose a different type of font, choose a particular size. I'm going to set this to something rather large, maybe 72, and set it to black. And before I draw this text box, I'm going to go ahead and lock this rectangle box that I just drew. You can rename these. Right now I'm not going to worry about that, but we may find it might be helpful to do that so we can recognize which box goes with which content container area. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this box so I don't mess it up. So again, I've chosen the text tool, and I'm going to draw a text box, and I'm just going to type the word header. And you can see for some reason my text, I lost the color, so I'm just going to select that and set this back to black so I can see it. Not sure what happened there. Now you can see the actual box for this text is much larger than I need, so I can click the pointer tool and I can then shrink this box back to the size that I need. I can also then move this box around, just kind of roughly eyeball center that. So there's my header box. I'm going to lock this because I don't want to mess with it anymore. I'm going to draw another container box, and this is going to be for my navigation. I'm only going down 3 squares. Of course, students can choose whatever size they want. I'm not going to go with black, just so I can differentiate between these two. I'm going to set this to a slightly darker color. I'm just going up 1 box up the gray scale. So that's hexadecimally, it's all 9s. Hitting escape to get out of this. Going to lock this box. Choose another text box, set to black. And I'm going to draw a text box on that. And I'm going to call this navigation. And I'll lock that. And now I'm going to draw just another large box. This is going to be for my content area. And I'm going to set this to the same color as header. Set that to all C's. Lock that box. And draw a text box on this. I'm going to call this content. And my thinking here, I'm going to shrink that box back a little bit. So my thinking here is that this would be where the students can then add other boxes if they want. I'm going to lock that. So let's say they want to draw, I don't know, say they want like a picture right in this area. So I'm going to draw like a box that's very square, it's not very close to a square. I'm going to set it to the same color as my navigation background, to all 9s. And I'm just going to put in there, I say pick for picture. I can lock both of those. If students want to maybe turn this text or something, if you click on this scale tool, and you then have the option, if you hover right over the corner, you can see the arrow turn to this circular motion, and you can then rotate that box if they want. I don't know if there would be a need for that. I'm not going to really do that, but just to demonstrate, they could do that if they want. I'm going to go ahead and lock that. And then I'm just going to do just one more box inside here. And you can see this is where having the grid is kind of nice, because you can line things up. Choosing the same color as I did for the pick box. And I'm just going to put in here, like, I don't know, list of faves something. And if this text is too large, you can select it and then maybe set it back to a slightly smaller size. Move that up a little bit. Lock both of those. And the last box that I'm going to do, of course students can run with this as they want. I'm just going to do a footer at the bottom and set that again to this same conventional color and call this footer. Again, that box is way too big, so I'm going to shrink that back and then kind of move it and then lock those up. And that can serve as our wireframe. What we can do down the road is we might be able to change this up and demonstrate color, but for right now we're concerned about layout and content container areas and what the students are going to have for container areas for the usage. And then they could just save this file and upload that for a grade.